Grand Rising and good day, family. It's Shay Seeking, and this is Not Your Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of his stories, lies. Um, Again, I just was looking for some stuff, and I ended up running into a couple of books that I wanted to share. Excuse me, with you guys. Well, a book or two and some information as well. So again, just so you guys know, and so I don't have to put it in the description. mm, Here's the book in case you wanted to take it and run. With the world's people, the beginning, pyramids and ruins in America. Okay, so again, I've goodness gracious. Okay, all right. Okay, I think we're ready. So, again, from what I've been reading so far, I was able to get into a couple of things. I mean, a lot of things. So, let's just go ahead and get right in. Okay. Again, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. And don't forget to join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained for more information like this from me and others. We just share what we can. Okay, we just share things that are supposed to inspire thought with our people, things that we have maybe had misconstrued, things of that nature. So again, it's just not me, it's other people. And the group is somewhat growing. It's still small. So it's a good time to get in and, get yourself grandfathered in. Okay. Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay. So it says, diverse aspect of barbaric life. Okay. Essential interest of inquiry into barbaric conditions. Diverse, uh, oh, that says diverse, sorry. Diverse aspect of the beginning. Okay, so anytime we think about in the beginning, you know where I'm going, and that's back to Genesis. Okay, because again, all I can tell you is that it seems like the timeline has shifted. There are many researchers and scientists and that you would call Caucasian or other foreign people that are dead set on there being 1,000 years missing with history. Now, the way that I think of that always is them taking the 14th century, the 1400s, and making it the 15th century. But then again, I don't know exactly how it is. What I do is just guesstimate where we will be in real history, because what I'm just trying to say is that the things in the Bible, and us getting the so-called Bible, the late 1800s, early 1900s, that there was something that happened at that point in time where somebody, again, the same people that had power then, their family lines still have all of the information about you and them now. So, and they're still in power now. And so, this is the way that we're able to kind of see, you know, what I'm saying is the Bible, like I said, the information in there, people call it prophecy. I call it plan. Okay, because of the timing that I feel that the the Bible was finished being written in and added to. Um, Again, anyone has a 1611 dictionary, the original first edition, please feel free to share it with us. But until then, all we have to go on is later Bibles. I'm pretty sure that most of us only have a regular King James version from like the 50s, 60s, 70s or up. Okay. So, yeah, to see what has been added, because I know that they did add some stuff and they did change a little bit of things. But again, we should still be able to, with the right mindset, if we get rid of the false notions and perceptions that we have from religion, then we should be able to bypass this and see that this is just history. Okay, it's just history, and by looking at certain details, we can kind of pick where things may have really occurred. Okay, and has this occurred so long ago, or is this a lot of this stuff just recently and then able to go into what's going on today? Okay, so history Bible, same thing to me, because again, while I'm reading one, my mind goes right back over to the other, vice versa. Okay, so again, so anyway, anytime we're talking about the beginning, and you'll see why I'm saying that throughout the time that I'm sharing this information with you. Okay. of the conscious. Now, remember, this is in some of your Bibles in Genesis as well. Okay. Life of man. Okay. And again, that's what Genesis pretty much is describing. This is their creation on top of a prior group or nation of heavily melanated people around the world, not just in Africa, but all over the world with different hair textures, different tones of dark skin, but very well know that a lot of these people were heavily melanated, if not all, especially when it comes to India, Asia, Africa, America, South America, things like this. So I always go back to even Pangea, because anything north of Canada in Pangea is questionable that that may be the ice age that they're talking about, and this may be where some of these people came from, that came into our lands. Although they'll give you the perception that everything happened coming from either South America or the East Coast. Sorry. So varying activities of man in the struggle for existence. So, of man in the struggle of existence. Now, again, were we considered man back then? I don't know. You would have to look up the term. It's just like I said, some stuff I'm not going to go into because I've gone into it how I feel, and I don't want it to be about what only I feel. I want people to, of course, do your own research. Okay. So, again, activities of man in the struggle for existence. Okay, so again, I guess that can go either way, but if you on this channel, then you know what I think about man and mankind and things like that. So, savages of the woods. Okay, so this is so this is also breaking it up here. Okay, of man in the struggle for existence to be able to exist, and then where's that X coming from? To X is. Okay, savages of the woods and the seashores. Who is that we're talking about? Primeval, okay, but also you get like prior to or pre, and then you have evil, devil, evil. I'm just saying, okay, because the primeval men they're going to describe as hateful, angry. As we go along, it's going to show that it's talking about these kind of things, like they ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having it. Okay. Okay. Builds for himself a home over the water. And again, this also gave me a dual. Again, I just glanced over this in order to bring it to you guys, but this also gives me a dual purpose of what they're trying to say here. So again, primeval man, meaning like a earliest or earlier man, or again, it's always confusing when we talk about the beginning, okay? Because again, yours was hidden, theirs was put there. So are we talking about from their existence over? Same thing with autochthonous and all those terms. What are we talking about? So it's just hard to say for a fact, okay? Builds himself a home over the water. So again, since we know that in the Bible lots of times, or again, I know that for myself, and again, we read that King James version of that Bible from the 1700s, and it said the same thing, that water was implied or talking about certain groups of people. Okay. So again, water is usually talking about foreign entities. Okay. Because again, what did they do initially across the whole so called world or plane? They conquered lands from the Rudy to the Tootie. Okay. America just happened to be the last one. Okay. So supposedly. So, okay. Water, we know that that can also mean, even when it comes to ancient Egyptians and stuff like that, don't get it twisted. We're talking about foreigners. Okay, what you might call the white man or the pale face that came over or whatever. Okay. So again, but this primeval man builds himself a home over the water. So we're talking about abode. Are we talking about the caste system still here again? Okay, a caste system with leaders that rulers that look like the very people that were being ruled, okay, at that point in time. So when water came in, of course, these people were over the water. But what the water was trying to do, and why we talk a lot about even splitting um, the waters above and the waters below, these are different castes or different grades or different groups of people. So again, your everyday so-called white people would be considered as the waters below because again, they are at a lower status. And waters above would be foreigners that have been able to be put on high in a position in the heavens in a uh, the form of a construct or the system that we live under today. Okay. Okay. So this man wasn't having it. He wasn't seeing that nobody, kind of like how they said about, what's his name? About Satan, that he was the most beautiful, but at some point in time he said, I don't want these people, you can't put nothing new over me or whatever. Okay. So in that sense, think of that. Okay. So I'm not having it. So I'll go against you. See, but then end up being locked away by those entities. So again, okay. So anyhow, yeah, built himself an abode. Same thing, the abode of God, the body. We already talk about that with the caste system so much. So barbarian abodes of clay or sun-baked bricks. Again, who knows what kind of bricks those are? What we see on the pyramid on the back of your dollar bill, or even when we talk about different types of buildings and structures that also refer to that are here in the physical realm, not in the ecclesiastic or law. um, I don't know. Okay, usually I'm just talking like I'm talking to myself to try to refer to things, but again, I hope I don't confuse you when I do that. So, anyways, it reminds me of Freemasonry. Okay, the builders, the Illuminati, George Washington. I was about to say Jefferson. Okay, George Washington image that I always show you guys here. What do savages thus differentiate? Okay, in manner of life. Okay, so why do savages thus differentiate in manner of life? Well, I don't know. Hmm. First cause of the reaction of nature. Okay, first cause of the let me make it bigger. Mm, yeah, I think that's an A. I can't make it bigger. So the reaction of nature on oh, there it goes. Okay, might be a little too big and blurry. Okay, this might be a little better. Okay, of nature on human faculties. Okay, man especially susceptible to influences of the natural world. So he was susceptible to the influences of the natural world. We would have to look up susceptible so we can know exactly what it is, but we're not going to do that right now. Um, we'll just guess, okay, for now, okay. Man especially susceptible to influences of the natural world. No, we're not going to do that. Let's just see. We won't read through the whole thing. We'll just glance at it. I'll let you guys just see it. You can pause it. Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Did I get it? Oh, okay, it is. Okay. 1600 again. Are we in the 6th day? Or the 5th? Okay, because of that whole thing with the date. Capable, sustainable, to take, catch, take up, lift up, receive, admit, submit to, sustain, support, bear. Okay. Acknowledge, accept, up from under, to take, okay, to grasp, okay, okay, to influences of the natural world. Okay, so again, I'm guessing to take, steal your shit, like, I mean, I don't know. So again, you could do that, receive, take, get permission to from their gods, whatever. Okay. Okay, because again, this would go and apply to how we say that these people don't really have any kind of so-called culture, that they take it from everyone else and then turn it into something that will make them some money and doesn't necessarily have the original effects that it would have had on you in its origins. Or just like I was telling you about, when it comes to paganism and witchcraft and voodoo and all these things that have been turned over to other groups. Not to say it doesn't work for them, because some of these people are indigenous people, and no matter how we like it or not, they are tied to our people because they came through the womb of the American Aboriginal woman. Okay. So again, whether they were taken away and then bred into something else, whatever. What I'm saying is some of these groups did come through the womb of the American Aboriginal woman. Okay. Um so uh let's see. I keep getting lost. We ain't even made it nowhere yet, y'all. Nature on human faculties. Man, especially susceptible to influences of the natural world. Okay, so nature. Okay, all parts of civilization tinged with environing conditions. Okay, all parts of civilization. Civilization. And remember, we just did the, if you missed it, I think I just did the definition on civilization on the channel yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you can see exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about someone that is civilized or upright in a sense, tinged with the environing condition. So again, this is to me saying that these people have a tinge of that still left in them. Even though they tried hard to breed it out, there are still things that connects those particular people in another realm to its original mother, the source. Not that source, the one that we could never really describe in the first place. But I'm just saying, okay? So, theory of environment has been stretched too far. Ethnic instincts also prevalent in forming, see, forming ye a man. See, this all goes back. If you don't believe that's what it's talking about, that's what it's talking about. We'll see how they're going to clearly write about how the fact that these are talking about the same things. Okay. So also prevalent in forming mankind. Okay. So something that's kind of like a man. Okay. Just like an Israelite is something that's kind of like an Israelite. I mean, is Israel. I'm sorry. So it's maybe a lighter version, whether we're talking about physically or, you know what I'm saying, less effective. I don't know. Okay. The law of variation independent of environment. Okay. So the law of variation. Let's look at that really quick. No, not I don't want the S. Difference, divergence. Okay. Because I think that divergence is another term that they're going to use later on. Okay. Variety, diversity, directly a difference, a variation. So this is when God is talking about to till the earth in order to subdue it and then to replenish it. That's cultivate or irrigate or flood or water or seed. All of these things are, or adding the seasons or seasoning, salt of the earth, whatever we're talking about. Okay, all of these things can be talked about when we're talking about this, if that makes sense. Okay, so okay, so yeah, variety, change, breeding. This is what we're talking about, amalgamating to change it. That's what replenish is talking about. And if it's talking about replenishing the earth only, it didn't say to do that to the waters, it just said to the earth. So again, that is them breaking you down, breaking down the your genes, how strong they were, okay, into something less, or even keeping some of them the way they were, but again, okay, animal life under like conditions shows divergence. Okay, so let's look at what divergence is. Okay, act or state of moving or pointing in opposite direction. Okay, 1650, go in a different direction, kind of like against the grain. Okay. Apart, to bend, towards, tend, toward, to bend, departure from a course or standard. Okay. So somebody was maybe having a problem with this, huh? Here are some related terms. Okay. Yeah, still talking about the variation or the variety and things like that. Okay. And then let's look at this. Proto-Indo-European root meaning to raise, lift, or hold suspended on high, right? Okay. Just saying. It forms all parts of these terms here. Invisible gases, like what are we talking about? As we going back to Genesis 1 through 3, the vapors, the dark vapors, the gases. I'm just saying. That surround the earth. Huh? Source of evidence for its existence is provided by Greek: to lift, raise, heavy, lift, weigh. Okay. Turn or bend, significant, valuable, or value, to become. Tend, incline. Let's see. Source, evidence of, okay. Turn around, to turn, to change it, right? Okay. Will, okay, to turn back, convert, transform, be changed. This is all what God was doing in the first, in Genesis 1. I mean, in Genesis in general, but, you know, originally turned toward, to befall, fate, destiny, literally what befalls one. Old Irish, against. Okay. Okay. Observe with awe. Did that take you back to the Bible too? How people would look at something and wonder, or things like this. Fear, a guard, watchman, Hittite, which they say is supposed to be some of the oldest people. Again, I believe it has something to do with South America or Haiti. To see, a guarding, protection, watchman. To cover. Okay. To cover what? To cover what? Okay. Field, sealed, closed, enclosed land, trapped land. To shut, to close, kind of like the Sheol or the Dalit people in the bottom of that caste system. Sealed, closed, dam, to be damned, enclosure. Okay. To defend, protect. Okay. So anyhow, let's just keep going. Okay. So, in many among the races, the law of diversity prevails. So, again, the law of change prevails in most of these particular races. Okay. So, it says here that the animal life, see, remember we did the thing on animal? And when we look at it in etymology, it can be talking about, it can be pertaining to people as well. Okay. Animal life under like conditions. Remember when I told you in Genesis, and you think we're talking about animals and shit, and we really talking about people? Okay. Like conditions shows divergence. Okay. Animal life under like conditions, under the same kind of conditions, shows divergence. In man, among the races, the law of diversity prevails. Migratory habits of tribes based on innate differences. The moving passion varies in the same community. Okay. So this is going to be talking about the cave dwellers of Europe. Let's see. Come on. Oh, see, this thing moving too fast. Ugh. Okay. Okay. So, um, contemporaneity of man and certain extinct animals. Now, again, this is what I tell you. When they talking about the dinosaurs, they talking about you. You see what I'm saying? We're going back to reptiles, extremely large reptiles, most of them. mammals maybe or not, but giants or Nephilim or larger beings or whatnot, um, that are spoken of again. Um, and then extinct. Does extinct actually means that it has to be um, not here anymore, or could it just be hiding under the guise of something else? Or could it just be taken down to a level where everything is concealed or blotted out, like it says in the Bible about certain people, or like it said, it's going to say in some of these writings how they just disregarded it. Okay, so um, yeah, certain animals or whatever, or groups or tribes are we talking about? I'm just asking these questions. Modern leaders of archaeological inquiry. Okay, so let's just go down a little bit more. I don't know why my mouse isn't working to do. Oh, okay, here we go. Place of the cave dwellers determined by geological data. Man belongs to the recent or wait, quaternary epoch. Extinct mammals okay, so again, co-inhabitants. So let's just say co could mean more than one, okay, and then in, brought in, okay, and then habitat or habitants, okay, into a habitat, okay, with man in Europe, okay, in Europe. What kind of man is this? Is that Bones that I can't remember what the guy, the dark skinned guy that they remodeled and did some stuff with the DNA or whatever to find out what that man looked like. I can't remember what they were calling him. I'm sorry. Savages pass through the definite stages towards civilization. So savages pass through the definite stages towards civilization. Is that a choice or not? I don't know. Materials employed by barbarians in making implements. Okay, so tools employed, worked by barbarians in making implements. Um, Man the tool making and club throwing animal. Are those the cavemen or the cave beasts some people refer to them as? I don't know. Artisanship begins with the making of tools and weapons. Old Stone Age marks first stage in human development. What does that mean? I don't know. Did some of these people come out from within the womb of a woman, and then again, what people say that they talk about Bigfoot or some form of these type of men that looked certain ways that came in and ravaged villages and things like that and took women. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes these babies come back, and then what happens? They said that some of these slave women or some of these women on these plantations would rather kill the baby. You know what I'm saying? So again, what else did that have to do with? Okay. So these are the first stages of Genesis in your Holy Bible, in my eyes. Chronology, chronology, I was going to say jick, of Paleotheic epoch, not determinable. Habitats of primeval man discoverable in his materials and art. Okay, because cavemen didn't have no art, so I mean, I don't know who they would be talking about. That's what this is us, seeing what if primeval, where they're explaining it in here, fits where they're saying it does. Okay. Neolithic workmanship marks. I noticed there's a lot about markings here and made me think about Cain. Just saying. Second stage of evolution. Okay, so the second stage. So don't let them make you think that evolution with this whole thing with Darwin and shit, that was all made up. Just notice some of the things that happened in our fall when these particular things came out within around that time, within a 5-year period of things happening in our fall. They came up with their own stuff and wrote it some certain type of way. Okay, so again, if they used to call you monkeys and apes and make you look like that on images, then someone saying that, oh, some of these foreigners, we'll just say that, okay, some of these foreigners came from apes, then they're not talking about animals they're talking about you, or else people will still be doing this. People will still be doing this and selling the babies online. You know what I'm saying? On eBay, probably. So again, in some kind of exotic farm industry or something. So again, this cannot happen. We haven't seen it happen yet. Again, I don't know what they're doing with DNA behind closed doors, but again, okay, the monkeys, I feel like, and the apes that they're talking about, because that's what they used to call some people at some point in times, because you lived in jungles and trees, some of us, okay, um, and some of us didn't, okay. So again, when we're talking about that, that's what I'm just saying. Low key, that's probably what they're talking about. Okay. So again, they had to evolve out of, and this is why they reserved and preserved certain groups. See, okay, because remember, God was killing people, the original people in places, so that he can make a room for his children, the real chosen children. That you can tell at some point in time they had favor by somebody, when if the truth is what they're telling us about us, that was never you. Everything that you have has been taken, especially when it comes to the American Aborigine. Okay, so relations of the stone. So again, when we're talking about in the morning, it was the second day, in the morning and evening, third day. These are the trial runs in my eyes, in different portions or different parts. I mean, that's just what I'm just saying. Okay, so relation to the stone epochs, to the era of geology, complex development coincident with New Stone Age, great span between ages of Stone Age and age of metals. Again, so when we're talking about, I even said this the other day, someone, there was a post I put up and someone said something about metal or silver or something. Oh yeah, it was the one with the guy that had the Shriner thing on his chest, the supposed Indian. Okay. And somebody said we didn't even have metal, or I don't know if he said silver or metal around that time. And I said, that's kind of true, or okay, maybe true. Okay. But even he was saying that we were making all kind of things or whatever. But at the end of the day, even when I was looking at something else, it said that the people in South America at least did worked in stone, feathers, different type of materials and skins and stuff, that didn't really say anything about metals. And you don't have to have a metal to make a tomahawk at a certain time in history. Now I'm pretty sure later on they could do these things, but who knows, who knows. All these things are different metals and different materials. And the thing is, I think that also when they're talking about these materials, especially when we're talking about metal, I think it also has something to do with um, them categorizing people, or the way that they did mix or melt or smelt things together in order to create certain things. So again, just like they use wood to talk about original people, like this, okay? Stone to talk about Stone Age, to talk about different types of people. Okay, so art of compounding metals. Okay, so again, different materials. Even when we talk about the statue that had the bronze feet and the arms like clay, that shit like that. Still, they talk about, it's just talking about ages and things like this, but again, I think that it means a lot more. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, Stone Age of metals, art of compounding metals, coming of brass age or bronze age, sorry. No intervening ages of copper. Hmm? Or tin. And again, who knows? Some of these materials are a lot softer than others. So when it comes to copper, if it's being more pliable, was that just them wanting to mix with that a little bit more? Like the daughters being very beautiful and they all wanted to take, even though I know that's talking about land as well. Just saying. Reasons why the age of bronze succeeds the age of stone. Okay. Again, oh, I'll stop. Historical consciousness begins with the age of bronze. Okay? The age of iron succeeds the epoch of bronze. Evolution of ironwork in primeval Europe, cave dwellers, the most primitive of the European race. Interest of the investigation of the man, uh, man caverns. Okay, characters of the caves inhabited by primeval men or man. Okay, exploration of Ingus Cavern by Dr. Come on now, Schmerling. Okay, carefulness of. Are you serious? Oh, this thing is about to make me sick. Okay, somebody's calling me, so I'm going to try to hurry up. Exploration of Ingus Cavern by Dr. whoever he is, carefulness of the investigation, the dedication, significance of the transformations of European climate. And again, when they talk about climate change, you know, sometimes you can think about temperature or different kind of the earth moving and shifting or quaking. And again, to me, that's duality there because again, if you the climate also makes me think about the condition of the original earth and the way it's moving, the way it's feeling, the way that it is generating, or the way that it is vibrating, the frequency of the earth at certain times. And this is why they're always concerned with making you think something, whether it's fearful, horrible, or most of the time it's a negative sense. But again, a lot of us are vibrating so high that we don't allow that, and that we can see things that others can't see. So we don't let that get to us. So again, us vibrating high and bringing more people along on that journey is it's a spiritual thing that a lot of people won't understand that I'm talking about. But I think most of you that are on that frequency will. And how I think that a lot of things that are going on right now with the climate or the earth quaking, that's you, okay, that are going to be shaking things up. Okay, and this is why these people are so afraid, and this is why they're trying to distract you with this propaganda and this fear mongering and these deaths of the people that look like you that may not be you, of these psyops that may be really somebody passed away or maybe they didn't. Species of extinct animals associated with man. Okay. So these are people that they probably wiped out and just took the whole livelihood and culture of the people. Okay. Evidence of comative respecting the character of primeval man. Sketch of the most important cave dwelling of Europe. Exploration of the man caverns of England. Peculiar. Hmm, I really don't know what's going on with this mouse. Maybe I'm just going to need, it's just a little bit ridiculous. Okay. Primeval man. Already did that. Okay. Exploration of the man caverns of England. Peculiar finds in the grotto of Macagonon. I don't know. Illustrations of the cave life drawing of from three sources. Characteristics and suggestions of the Ingus skull. Peculiar animality dedicated by. Okay, so again, we don't really have to read all this stuff. Extinct animals associated with man and the cave bear. Again, man and the cave bear. What's the cave bear? Is that like a Sasquatch kind of person? Um, cave hyenas or dogs, cave lions or American lions, or I don't know. Their distribution. Okay, restorations of Elephas or Pregene. Wait, Primogenous genius, Primogenous. Mm. Other animals remain found with those of man. Okay. The reindeer, a former inhabitant of Central Europe. Size and characteristics of the Irish elk, the prehistoric bison of Europe, America, and America. Okay, Caesar's depiction, some prehistoric animals surviving in living species. Again, primitive ox of Europe. Again, some of these, they could be talking about animals, okay? But again, I still think that in a sense sometimes we're talking about people, but you have to just follow it where it goes, okay? Disposition of man. So this is a disposition Sounds like somebody that lost their position. I don't know, or were moved out or something, thrown out maybe. Of man to domesticate wild animals. Okay, to domesticate wild savages or wild Indians. Could this be? We're just asking questions here. I'm not telling you anything. Okay, unless I'm saying it. Okay. Uh, Data of practice of domestication. The dog reminds me of Canaan, or even reminds me of Anubis, or something of that matter. Okay, the dog, the first of the domesticated animals. Disposition of certain animals to domesticate. Many beasts, again, beast of the field, talking about in Genesis as well. Partly tamed by prehistoric races, again, partly tamed by prehistoric. So again, this is the same thing as saying that indigenous people, okay, like I told you, when you look at, there's we can look at these images all day of so-called Native Americans and Indians and earlier people, but at the same time, there's certain clues and there's certain other things that we should be picking up in those images as well. And like I showed you guys before in the other video, when it comes to the tents, when they have fowl of the air on them, that means something. When they have beast of the field on there, it means something. When there is men running across around the TP, like that one that I put on my Facebook page not that long ago, then you will see that that is talking about originals. Okay. These are all things symbolic. Even we were talking about that in the other video the other day about the Shriner sign on that guy's neck. Yeah, it could have been some kind of spoils that they got, but again, also we know that these people were coming over here bearing gifts, and when they gave them those gifts, they would have them not knowing that they were probably being watched by certain people from out far away, and then making, trade and things like that. So these were also gifts to these people, to tag them, see, voluntarily. So you're taking a gift not knowing that it's tagging you for something. Just saying. Okay. Like they go out and get animals out of the wild now, but they put them to sleep and then they tag them. It's the same damn thing. Okay. So disposition of certain animals, and then later on, when they had gotten a heavy influence here, then they were able to track you down just like they do animals today, and then tag you that way. Okay. So many beasts partly tamed by the prehistoric races. So again, this is talking about beasts of the field or indigenous people, or possibly native people being trained by the original people, like we talked about in the culture video, that they were giving them all of the insight on the culture, and then those people would then take it over and they would kill or replace or enslave or take prisoners of war of the rest of the people that were there. Okay, eating habits of the Aborigines of Western Europe. Uh, Place of the caves. Okay, I don't even know why we're reading this. I just think it was just me getting started. Okay, variety of prehistoric implements in museums, stone axes. So again, oh, see in here, this is what we're talking about, like stone axes. They didn't have to have metal, they had stone. They were working with stone, just like we talk about, we look at the arrow, bow and arrow. Not to say that that was originally what we used, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Everything is so mixed up, and that's minuscule to what I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, what I'm trying to imply about even us being uh Aboriginals or Indians of this land is you stating claim that you were here prior to there being a government or anything here. You're the remnant of those people. And so so this government is not supposed to have any type of jurisdiction over you. So it doesn't matter. Even if you came here before the first pilgrims and settlers came here in 1619. So even if, you know what I'm saying, you don't think that you are original, you were still here prior to all of this stuff being set up. So again, should these people still be able to tell you, or is there something due or owed to you because of these circumstances? Because they're not going to give it to you by being African American and black, because we've already been those, and that has not done anything. And we already know that black removes you from your standing and makes you something that is dead, or not to be respected by their particular type of law, and that your real nationality and your real standing has been given over to the children of those particular people. Okay, and that the real people that they freed during after slavery was really those particular people. And could those have been the Negroes that took your nationality and gave you theirs. See, so it was a whole switcheroony that happened where they gave you that what was not, just like in the Nag Hammadi, it said everything that was good they turned to bad, everything that was this way they turned it upside, so everything has been turned upside down basically, okay, in order to more than likely hide it from the original primitive races, groups of people. This is why you can't have any type of culture left behind but the ones that they've given you in the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. When it comes to certain music and things like, that's all that we are. Just saying. Extent of variety of prehistoric implements in museums. Okay, we already did that. Um, flint knives. Okay, again, flint knives. I'm thinking flint is a certain type of stone. Um, and so, like when I told you guys earlier, I responded to him to saying even if there were, silver was not a it wasn't a prominent thing within our original people. It was something that was probably looked at a certain kind of way until these foreigners brought it over here and made you think it was something worth something because you had all the gold and all the copper. We had the mines and everything running all up and through here. So again, maybe they brought that over here in order to make, they the ones that had the cups. I can't remember what they're called, the big cups with the little lids, the Germans and everybody, and the goblets made out of metal and stuff like that, while you was over here in gold. So, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I would think that that was something that they brought over here in order to make you think that they had something valuable to trade. But again, who am I to say? Some people may think silver is more, but was it then? Is what I'm saying. Okay, because they walked away with everything at this point. You don't have anything left. Okay. Uh, so, a variety of prehistoric tools and weapons, manner of life without and within the man caverns. Okay, care of taking of utensils, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the stature and personal characteristics of the cave men. Okay, so again, this is talking about lake and whatever dwellers. I'm not even going to go all into that. But again, let's see. Lake dwelling extend into the age of bronze, evidence of emergence of a race from barbarians. Okay, barbarism. Okay, lakes and villages. Okay, discovered. Okay, so yeah, Irish I would think would be some type of a lake or something, water dwelling. Uh, let's see. General construction of the fresh water areas of Europe. Mm. Certain primitive tribes choose the lake shores for residence. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting because it also says something about the American Aborigines taking up water and stuff like that. So who knows if these people were, um, again, some people that sprung from uh, other people that were moved around, which is what we're really going to be getting to um, soon. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't take too much time with this video because again, I just kind of I've been kind of like out of it again for a couple of days. I've been kind of just really out of everything. So, you know, I, when I do that and I try to come back, I've been just like really backing off from social media and everything. So, when I come back after something, most of the time it is an overload of information. I just cannot take it anymore because I can't get it all out. And so I have to find my way back into the information and just go with the flow like that. So, again, like I said, this was just like the forerunner. But I do have some really good information that I have to show you guys after this. But right now I have something to do, so I gotta go. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, or subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.